here we go. Let me get this going. I got all my stuff everywhere right now. I even missed the countdown. So that's silly. That is silly. Let me, right there, let me turn that down a little bit. Welcome. Good to see you guys. Yeah, didn't mean to take last week off, but a bunch of stuff was going on. So, a lot of NDA stuff, but also baby growing in her molars. So getting up a few times a night and stuff like that. So she's kind of tempered down now. They're both in. They broke through the gums. So better, right? But two kiddos under 4 is a lot. But tonight what we're going to do is work on a few. I'm working on some personal stuff just to kind of, I don't know, work out some kinks in my workflow. Really trying to get more dynamic poses and stuff. Well, one of them is working on a more dynamic pose. The other one is working on lighting, but a very certain type of lighting. And I don't know if it has to do with lighting or if it has to do with the way paint mixes based on temperature. I'm not sure. Because, you know, the lighting, rim light, fill light, key light, bounce light, all that stuff, fine. But there's a certain thing I want to try. And it's a very Frank Frazetta. I know Craig Mullins does it, but he does it in a different way. A mixing of temperatures that I want to try just to see what it looks like. But we're going to hop on over here. I'm working on 2 pieces right now. Let me... All right. One is very by the books, 2-point perspective. The other one is not. It is not. I tried photo bashing. I tried a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, this kind of looks okay, maybe, kind of, sort of, but I don't know. But we're going to work it out. We're going to work it out until it's ready. Because a few of my friends, thankfully, and in amazing news, a few of my friends got contacted by Magic the Gathering for their card art skills, man. They're doing it. They're working for the big kahuna now. So... it's high time your boy gets his butt in gear and tries to also get on that short list. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to do. Let's come over here. We're going to do it with no cam tonight. I was going to go live the other night, which is why I have no cam mic tonight, which is not true. I am here. So we have this one, and then we have this one, which is cool, but I need to do a lot to this one. The colors are nice in it, because I'm going for all kind of yellow, brown. We're doing that one. Literally, the color of the tree is the color of the guy. I don't know why, but sure. Literally I have brown and yellow. So yellow is in the highlights, brown is in the shadows and stuff. I did do gray, so I just did some, you'll see where I didn't actually color all of it yet. So we're going to play with that. We're going to play with kind of the cools and see how that goes. Kind of in the background, you can see where I was doing that. But then I was also using a completely different brush pack, brushes I've never used before here. So you can see all the foliage brushes. Yeah. And then this one is actually based on, let me hide the rest of this stuff. So here's a crazy 2-point perspective grid. And I actually have a plugin for this. But the nice thing is I'm not locking my... I'm going to move my mic. I'm not locking in my brush strokes to the perspective grid. I just have the perspective grid here. That way I just have kind of a way that I can look quickly at what I'm doing and seeing as long as it's kind of following the lines, it should be fine. So basically we have our horizon line is here, right? Then we have one direction, which is, I put it in red. And then our other direction, which I put in blue. So this one's quite a bit more shallow. It's very close to actually being flat. Well, this other one is going into the distance. So this started as 1-point perspective, and this is where it was going. And then I realized I needed something to counterbalance it because it still looked flat. So I did a subtle 2-point perspective there. And this is kind of what we have so far. But you can see how the stairs are kind of following the line. And then you can see this line here is kind of following stuff this way. So I took some textures from photobash.org, some columns and stuff, and just ran them through a little acrylic filter on the filter gallery. I think I either did paint daubs or I did dry brush. And then I used some other dry brush stuff this away. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I was working in values first off, just to get the light in the dark. But yeah, this one's gonna be fun. I think this one's gonna be a winner, but I just have to really design Duder's outfit, which is probably what we're gonna work on tonight. So we're gonna design that. We're gonna kind of fix the anatomy here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be better. Like his arm has to come in through here. This isn't quite the correct way of twisting, but like, once again, the rule of cool. It took me a while. I have some, let me see if yeah. So like I have sternum down and in, slight tension created by aligning the shoulders with the target, which is what I need to do. I need to actually spin his hips around. Hips open to the target. So right now mine are kind of closed off. Well, no, no, I put that leg there. Okay, so it's more open. This leg is kicking a little behind him. So it's that type of stuff. We're going to have to like edit some of this. But then also how the elbow, this was very helpful right here. This straight line going where the arrow is, the elbow has to flare above it, which is actually very, very useful. So I did that. Craig Mullins also has a, so yeah, I have a whole lot of different deals up right now, but like, see how that elbow kind of flares up a little bit. I have to get that one's not as much, but that's actually a great reference for the shape. That's almost the exact same angle, really. The camera's tilted a little bit, but it gets us. Ellen, hello, hello. And we have that. I like the idea of that triangle thing right here, but I don't know what it is. I have no idea. But what's cool, I'm really liking more limited color palettes lately. Like, I'm really liking them a lot. So basically, I just wanted to do yellow, orange, and then of course the darks are going to be brown, because that's what dark yellow and orange is brown. But then we're going to use a little bit of the cools from the gray to kind of even stuff out. But I think this is actually better than trying to really balance in a whole bunch of different things, because that was giving me a headache. So this is better. I put a little bit of green right there, but so we'll do little splashes of something here or there. But yeah, this is, and what's nice about that is I can come in and at any time, since it's an analogous colors, I can come in and like change this up if I need to, you know. So if I need it to be a little more red or something, we can kind of do that. So like if we wanted to introduce a little more kind of a red type scheme, I can make a duplicate copy and then just shift the hue and then just kind of mask it. You know what I mean? But really yeah, so either or, because like I like the red a lot. It reminds me of like cherry blossoms, even though this is not cherry blossoms. It still looks pretty cool. And it all works because, I mean, analogous colors always work. You know what I mean? They're always pretty good. But yeah, tonight we're just going to kind of render some of this out, I think. I'm going to keep a lot of this background so you can see where I kind of photo dropped some of the trees, but then just sort of painted over and use some scratchy stuff there. But so we're going to clean some of this up. Yeah. And then this one, just the light study, we're just going to mess around with some paint blend modes because we can have, here we go. And once again, this is a lot of blue and green. I stayed right around here for this. It's more analogous. I'm liking the more blue-green, and then the other one's kind of this nice warm. So the warm light is coming in, but this is actually more, it has a slight hint of this, but it's actually more gray than it is anything else. But I like the feeling of depth because I made this a little cloudy. So yeah, we're just working on stuff. Nothing like super crazy, but oh, maybe I can keep him that more red color, right? I don't know. I don't know how, if I like it more analogous or kind of what we want. But anyway, we'll worry about that later, right? First, what we're gonna do, we're gonna come in. We're gonna fix this old arm right here. So that's right, but this tilt needs to be up a little bit. And I just love working in values because it's so much easier. There's so much less to worry about, you know? Here, I'm gonna cut through here. I don't really know what this dude's face anatomy is. He has a very wide face, but I think it actually kind of works. We're just going to keep the shapes really basic. Maybe not even worry about painting in the eyes. And it's funny with these straight lines. I'm always a sucker that can't really do straight lines. So I found out the best cheat on earth, and it's just use the pen tool and then stroke the path, put it in path mode. That's what I did for the bow lines right here. You can see where I kept struggling to get it to look right. So I was like, all right, let me just have the machine do it for me, you know. Bring that over. Kick this out. Something there. Okay. So this needs to be the forearm muscle. Is tense. There. There. This can kind of cup over. This needs to come up a little bit. There we go. Kind of around that. I need to pull up. Craig Mullins did a thing for Age of Empires to where, I think it was the English painting. He has somebody shooting a bow and it looks incredible because you can see like the muscles tensing and stuff. It looks super cool. There we go. So I can have that shape of the arm be darker. Now, this is the type of value stuff that I really like to do because you can get away with doing a lot, even if it's not like technically correct or like mathematically correct or whatever. I just made like back here a little bit lighter than this forearm part right here, but I made it it's still quite a bit darker than what it's in front of. So it's like stacking on stacking on stacking, you know? Yeah, values are just, they're a cheat code. I mean, they really are. I think if people realized the more time you spend here, just everything works better. And it's like you can't lose. You know what I mean? And like here, I'm gonna darken that up a little bit. Let me get that. And then we can darken this area because since we have that highlight right here, it's just going to bring more separation. It's not technically correct based on lighting, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to do the job of distinguishing between this value and then the value of the armband. You know? And once you work more in values, you can start making these type of decisions. See, and that's going to be, I just have to make sure the anatomy is still correct here though. Once you start sharpening stuff with like arm muscles and things like that, your anatomy has to be super on point. There's a fly in my office and it's driving me crazy right now. It has this whole house that it can go fly around. I have lights on in other rooms, yet it is flying right by my face. And see, I like this idea of like the breastplate or like chest plate being lighter and also having some sort of like, you can see where I started doing some of this type of stuff here on the bow. I just started coming in and making circles like this because it makes it look nice and detailed, but the details don't really mean anything. See, like, and you move out and boom. Oh God. There we go. Straw, what's up, man? Small ears is a, yeah, so I kind of do too, because the big old floppy ears are fine, but I think you can get more like aggression out of it. It's almost like an orc ear, you know? This could be like a half orc, you know? But hey, Straw, I appreciate you very much, man. I need to make you another care package, dude. So, funnily enough, Straw in Twitch chat right now was my very first personal commission ever. Ever, ever, ever. So whenever I made him his first commission, I also sent him like 7 or 8 other sketches and watercolor paintings and stuff. Because he is a real OG. Alright. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So his arm does look weird right now, but I kind of like it because it almost looks like there's tension on the bowstring because his arm is doing a weird thing. But if you look at some of these other it's going straight down there. Shoulder alignment. Straight line from where? From the forearm bone, or your wrist, I guess, to under there? Oh, I see. Okay, so you have your delt right here. Delt right here. So the line through the circle in the middle, that. And if that's coming down here, I could probably lower the arm and get away with it. Actually, that might be what needs to happen. Let me do a little something, something. This may not be correct, but by God, we're gonna try it. Copy words, edit, paste. What angle does this need to be? Yes. That needs to be there. Right. Because this needs to be that. Is that correct? I don't know. We will know very soon once I finish painting this up. Here's the edge of the pinky. Right. I've noticed something a lot of my art heroes have done. You have like Ken Kelly and even like John Howe, and they will put detail, little just specks of detail in places just to do it. And it kind of works. I always thought it was weird, but now I kind of get it because the eye has to look at something, you know? And then that, we're gonna bring that down. All right, that's looking, yeah. There's that angle. This angle needs to be like that. And this is another thing I'm trying to do, is work more just from the seat of my pants based on feel more than like I need to go build a 3D model of this and then do exactly what the 3D model shows. Which is, you know, probably a safer way to do it. We're saying YOLO here. Actually, that wrap does not follow the contour. There we go. Kind of sketch it in more detail that way. Where all my self-doubt creeps in. Yeah. I don't know. For me, the self-doubt's at the very beginning. Whenever I'm here, I'm like, oh, I'll make this work. You know, I've been here before. You know, I just have to put in 20 or 30 hours and then make it look how I want to. So that part's not bad at all, in my opinion. It's that very first part. Like, am I making a piece that's worth painting? That's where I get a little razzle-dazzled, you know? See, I'm trying my best not to really adhere too much to a reference. Like, I have references, but this is more for like, where should the elbows be? Not what should his pose identically look like. And I'm wondering if we can do like the comic book style plate mail like that, you know? If that's a good or a bad thing. And like I said before, I like the yeah, okay, that's better. I was like, that diamond looked like a tangent almost, and I didn't want that. So it's actually kind of good that I did that just now. Made the outline of the shape, because it makes it more on purpose. If that makes sense. For that pouch, but and see, we're using the fact that we have like little gaps in the tree here as an excuse to put the brightest highlights right around the face and where he's pulling the bow in. Let me come in here. So that's like bounce light. So this is his armpit. This right here. So what I need to do is sort of soften this transition for this area. And then like, there we go. Because that deltoid is right there. And plus, this is kind of the way I would want to paint, because I know Cody's in chat right now, and he's been working his butt off on some graphic novel stuff. And like, you know, if I paint a graphic novel, only a few pages are going to be in color. The rest are going to be in black and white. But I'm hoping I can do like this type of thing as like main money shot type stuff. You know, kind of at this render level. Like I'll come back and I'll fix all of this, of course, but see, this might be a mistake doing the leaves and like this type of render fixing. And these are like stamp brushes of leaves, but doing all that in grayscale in values instead of in color, because in color it's going to look better and it's going to be harder to match color to these each individual strokes. That's kind of fine, I guess. Like, it's gonna make my life harder, but I also think it's still gonna read okay. You know what I mean? It'll look cool, yeah. So yeah, that with the draw thing, there's some that are straight across like this, but then there's other. Really, it looks like for a lot of professional archers, the line of the bow, the arm lifts up from there, so it's like he's also at a weird angle. And the camera angle is weird. So it's almost like, and to be fair, he's leaning. So like, if I do this, hold on. Yeah, it might be a little too high. So actually the hips are better than I thought they were. Because I think having that angle is really weird. Doing the Dutch tilt that way. Straw, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. What I was wanting to do Let me get the plastic wrap brush. Come over here. And I know this is very kind of lazy of me. I kind of like the nondescript leg area. I feel like if I just really work on rendering out the top portion and the belt and stuff. Don't get ads. Oh yeah, man. So yeah, I've really liked YouTube streaming. Actually, that's where vast majority of the chat is too. Like 10 to 1. You know. It's funny, my YouTube is almost at 9,000 subscribers, which is about how many followers I have on Twitch. I'm hoping what would be amazing. I don't know if I'll quite make it, but I would hope. I think it'd be amazing to get 10,000 YouTube subscribers before the end of the year. But I mean, we're close. We're gonna be close, even if we don't hit it. You know. And see here with a tree, I'm just literally grabbing the plastic wrap brush, using some darks, using some lights. You can see some of the photo bash texture right there. I'm gonna get rid of some of this. Kind of smooth it out, make it more painterly. Okay. There's that. What's up, Taxidermy? Oh, cool. Subbing on Twitch for the notifications. That's smart. Yeah, I feel like Twitch has that part kind of under lock. Like, they do a really good job of letting you know whenever someone you follow goes live. YouTube just sort of exists. You know what I mean? You know, not to knock YouTube on it, but I wish they did have a slightly better notification system. That's why I tweet out on socials, but I always link to the Twitch instead of the YouTube when I do that. So here, we're gonna do that. Also, I wanted to point this out too. So, you know, we have all of our yellows right here. The reason why I wanted to kind of use this yellow is because of how bright it is around the darkest part of our silhouette. You know what I mean? Yellow just works. It brings in attention. You can essentially use it as a replacement for white, and it works the same way. Because yellow is going to be an absolute, like, savage color. Like, it blows out everything else. But that's kind of nice. If you're doing this sort of dark silhouette on a light background, yellow is a very powerful tool that you can use. Let me show you guys the other brushes I was using. I had... Was it Jamie Jones? Who was it? No, it was... Was it Randy? Was it Mr. Vargas? It was Mr. Vargas. He has a lot of foliage brushes. He also has really good painterly brushes. But yeah, I was using these. Basically, I was using this right here. I would come in, and it's funny, once I put it on, you'll be able to see it. So if I go over here, if I go like select all, edit, copy merged. Let's do this, edit paste. Color painting 1. All right. So, yeah, you can see the literal stamp on some of these. So I would like grab a color. I would come over here and I'd go like boop. And see, that's all you gotta do. It makes it makes it very easy and very fun to just kind of come in and paint some grass, bud. Same thing here. Grab that one. And normally I don't use these type of brushes. I'm like, I'm gonna paint everything. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, who cares? Like, for real. Who cares? There we go. Let me do this corner. Whoa. I really like this one because it's almost like a splatter brush, but instead of a splatter, it's leaves. So you get these really nice effects, and they work really well against the highlight. So if you have a highlight of like light coming through the trees, if you get that darker color and come and like brush into that highlight, like right here, for instance, see this? You come in and do this, it breaks up your silhouette, but it makes it look more interesting and more natural, which is very handy. And if you want very believable kind of leaf structure stuff, what you can do is you take your highlight color and you paint into the tree like this. Then you grab the color that it is already and paint back out. And it gives it way more of a like spontaneous look to it. See, instead of it making it look like a stamp, you're basically, see, it's very like almost impressionistic, which I dig it. I think that looks cool. And then we'll get some bigger leaves here. Get that one there. That one there. And it's funny because this is the type of stuff they do for like Guild Wars. You know, they use a lot of these stamps for Guild Wars, which I dig it. I like that look a lot. That's what we're gonna do. Hit those. Let's grab some more bright brushes here. Boom. So really this is just noise. I'm just adding noise to this whole picture. See, I'm trying to keep my chops up a little bit. That way if I get back on at like Varia or somewhere, my painting skills will have improved substantially since my last set of cards. Because funnily enough, this is the exact dimensions of a Magic card. This is 4x3, so 4,000 by 3,000 at 300 DPI. So if I were to make a Magic card, it would be pretty much exactly like this. Then we have that. Let me try this real quick. Boom. Boom. Ooh. Or maybe. Ah. Do you like my noises? Ooh, ah. So, do I dig that? Or do I like that better? Or I can kind of have the best of both worlds. Kind of lower it. That way it's still kind of a vignette, but it's not as intense of one. Does that make sense? See, this is where I do a lot of second guessing. Because it's like, both of these look good, but which one looks better? Because I don't know if this is a fair assessment. I don't know if this is just me and how my brain and my crazy OCD randomness is, as far as like my brain never calms down. But I always think to myself, okay, I have two good decisions, or like decisions that they both work. I mean, there's nothing really different about these two. There's not one that's like a masterpiece and the other one is not, or I don't think any of them are masterpieces, but what I mean is like, there's not a huge difference between the two, right? But in my mind, that part of me, that weird kind of, that scratchy self-doubt, imposter syndrome, does think I'm going to pick the wrong one. I'm going to pick the one that's not going to get me a job, that's not going to get me hired. If I only would have smartened up and did this one, if I would have been good enough to look at it and know then and there that that was the right one, that would have been the thing. But I always feel like I picked the wrong one. And it could just be, hey, if the painting's good enough, you're going to get hired regardless, which is probably the correct answer. But just a little inside baseball for the craziness of an artist mind. This is the type of stuff I think about. I'm like, well, I could pick this, and then like I have this, and then what I'm going to do, I want to introduce some of that yellow back here because I like the yellow around his feet. So I am going to come back into my brush pack, my 2025, and get my airbrush. My airbrush, there it is. I'm going to make this black. And then if I come in here and see, I kind of yellow up some of these leaves. Make it more interesting there, right? So now we have a mix. We have a mix of the yellow by the head, yellow by the feet. Then you have the red on these outers, but you have a small little smattering of the yellow around there, right? So something like that. And then we can even bring this opacity back up because it's more intense now. The look is much more intense. It reads well. I could probably even get away with getting rid of part of this tree. But I like the framing. I like the framing where we have the tree and then you have a lot of kind of busy work right here that kind of pushes you back into the painting. And then you have, of course, this one that lets you not go off the painting this direction. And then, like, these trees are kind of leaning in towards our character. You know what I mean? And then you have the bow, which is really the only curved surface on this whole thing, because you have a lot of straight up and downs. You have a diagonal right here for the floor. But really the only actual curve is going to be maybe his musculature and then the bow, kind of his angle, you know. And I wanted to make a swooshy line. I wanted to, like, the head to the feet is like a C. It's like whoop. And then I just went straight up and down kind of here. I bent the knee a little because he has to balance himself. But that's why I wanted to make that a little bit more dynamic. And now, because of this, I wonder if I can come up here and then do subtle little shifts with a soft round brush. Matches the environment. Yeah, see, like environmental storytelling. So before we start really rendering, I can come in and start really getting the correct colors in place. Color. Right. So that needs to be there. His bow needs to be the same type of brown. It can even, where it's getting hit with the highlight here, be a little bit more of that orange right there. Then the same thing here. Do I want this to be gray, or do I want it to be, well, first let me fix his ear. There we go. Do I want it to be gray, or do I want it to be this orange color? You know what I mean? That seems a little much. What if... And how like saturated that is. I don't know that. I mean, it looks like brass almost. It almost looks like a... Yeah, we'll get the arrowhead. That's going to be a final touch. Because I haven't even like straightened out the line of the bow or of the arrow itself yet. And yeah, we need to come in, and we're only like 40% into this one. This one's gonna be a bear. So if we have this here. Oh, and then yeah, and then maybe this can be where we have a little bit of red, a little bit of color difference for something like this. And get the red in there as saturated for the or should it be that orange color? Or no, it might actually be the brown. See, that's the thing. This is the type of stuff to where I kind of get like what looks the best, right? As while that looks cool, I wonder if the brown... Rick, what's up, brother? I wonder if the more tempered brown might work a little better. It's less dramatic, but it does work as camouflage a little better. Right? Bring in that brown for the belt. Bring in that. So yeah, we're still very much staying analogous colors. Very, very warm. But what's the right one? This actually needs to gray out a little bit. A little bit of blue back there. Bring in some of the cools. All right. That's going to make the warms pop even more. There we go. There's that one. And comes in. Cool. All right. So the acrylic and non-impasto oil looks. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I need to dig into Rebel 3 and figure out kind of what the dealio is on that. Because I do think there is a way to get that acrylic look again. There has to be. they didn't fundamentally change so much about the program that like it's impossible to get those brushes again. You know what I mean? There has to be a way. All right, so with Duder, I need to desaturate his arm a little bit. There we go. Yeah. I can bring in some highlight. Bring in some highlight. All right. I've been noticing that like soft brushing colors in has been a godsend for like very quick iteration on stuff. I do not like the color of this. His like the bottom what is that, a shawl? I don't know. What would the bottom be? Kind of like a almost a skirt, but it's more of a ragged thing. I don't know. I don't know words anymore. That's why I paint for a living. I don't know words. So we have that. Need to fix that. Need to fix that. Fix where his thumb was. I had his thumb further out, but then I had to change the angle of his fist. So then I had to change his thumb, but I didn't change any of that stuff back. And then actually, here's what we can do. Yeah, there you go. Tie in those reds a little bit more. Let me get that orange and see what this does. Yeah. We can make it even more. Yeah. Kind of neutralize it, because it doesn't... I mean, one, I didn't render the damn thing, so any way that we can not, like, show it is probably better. I wonder if I need to... Let me temper that back a little bit. See, but that starts mixing with skin tone. What color should that be? Let's make it a little more golden, but not as golden as it was before, and see what we can find out. That might be better. Blacks for dirt. That's true. Add some saturation. All right. Saturation. Now I need to actually start coming in here and rendering, because I think that's also going to help. I need to render this tree, some of these leaves, but the nice thing is the Randy Vargas leaf brushes are pretty rendered already, so I don't have to go in and like really revise anything. And then this I'm keeping very loose back here, and even down here. This down here I might get rid of some of these twigs, because I think the twig brushes don't really work all that well. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I just paint things. But we'll fix a little bit of the tree. I'll kind of knock that tree back a little bit. I'll bring this tree... Might get rid of that stem. Or that branch, rather. And something that I'm gonna try not to do. I'm not going to add rim light to this guy. Oh, that's true. Yes. I could bring... That's actually a good idea. I could maybe swoop this to sort of mimic that motion of how the skirt is going like this. Maybe if I bring up some leaves here, maybe like they're going back behind him. Almost like the draft is, he has enough power over the elements or whatever. Like, I don't even know the story behind this character, but just maybe it cups in and like swoops across. So if we did that, see, I saw the big leaf collection. Yeah, we'll do those. That's fine. Does he have smaller leaves? Like one-ofs? I see chains. I see grass. Air, fur, fog, smoke, dust, flames, magic. Oh, we can really Magic the Gathering this bad boy up. Yeah, I got an idea. So, like, if we wanted to really make this a magic card, you know what we do? We go like so. We go like so. Oh, not there though. Not that one. We go like so. We go like so. So. Boom. Tangent. Get rid of it. Get rid of the tangent. We come up like this. It might actually even work better as so if we start bringing in a draft here, and then we really bring in then check this out. We do this, color dodge. Where are we at, homie? We see Magic 2? No. Start doing something like that. It's always a fun trick to see how like how leading scoopy lines like swooshes and S's and circles and how all that stuff allows your eye to sort of go where you want people to look. We have something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it works okay. And then what's real fun is if we really want this to read a little more monochromatic again. Let me just come in here. It's funny how different the whole thing looks whenever it turns into a cool painting instead of a warm painting. Find. See, that's a little too much, but here's the one. I think I did a rose gold to start the painting. Which one did I do? I think it was one of these. Really what we can do, we're kind of coming through here. Blading tired. Hey, what's up, Serenu? I still use Krita. I still use Krita quite a bit. But I have like 19 painting programs. So just depending on what the painting needs, that's what I open up. Because every painting software does something a little bit better and different than another one. I think this is the one I used up front. And then what you do, we have that as a color overlay. If we just knock this down to like 10 or 20, not even 20%, but like 10%, what it does is it harmonizes all of our colors together. Even though they're pretty well harmonized, it takes out some of the aggressive changes of our hue, you know? Let's bring this like right here. So see how it's a little bit more cohesive again? It's sort of more of that gold brown. But then what we can do, yeah, it kind of brought everything in. Because see, especially with the yellows, like if you pay attention like right here and how it changed it, what we can really do is get it to where we go boom. We can airbrush this. Really give us a little bit more of a dynamic look about where we want people to look. So that S shape that we have. And then we will also hit right here, right there, with some of that. See? So it's still vibrant where we want it to be really vibrant, but then it kind of dulls everything else out, acting as another vignette, which is nice. It just lets us stay balanced, I guess. That's always a good trick. Even if you're like 40, 50 hours into a painting, you can still gradient map over everything and then lower the opacity and kind of see what it does. If you need to like temper, if you feel like your colors are kind of getting out of control and stuff, this is a good way to go. Because we want to make sure that it reads as warm, right? And then just for fun, let me copy merged everything. Let me paste it on top. Let me see what Photoshop would say. Autotone? Nope. Don't like that. I mean, the contrast is cool, but it kills all of the like that warm, nice, almost like a overlay over everything. I think it makes it look less like a painting whenever you do this and you start getting into the blacks and the digital like darkness and stuff. It just doesn't look right. Doesn't look as good. But whenever it's here, everything has a little bit of that mother color, that nice kind of auburn brown over everything, almost like a gloss. It's nice. Auto contrast. Okay, so our contrast was actually pretty good. It did tweak it a little bit, and I'll keep that. I always think the Photoshop auto contrast is pretty smart. It tries to find your very highest highlight pixel and then your darkest dark pixel, and it makes that one pixel white and the other one black, you know? And then it tempers everything on a curve that way. And then like auto color. See, auto color just strips all of that warmth out of it. I don't like it. There is another technique that I'll show you guys real quick. So say, here, I'm going to do this. Actually, no. Hold on. Step. Okay, edit. We'll make a duplicate copy of this one. Edit, copy, merge, edit, paste. Boom. Now we can come in. Let's auto color. Because I'll just get rid of this whenever we're done. So let's say you have a painting like this and you want some sort of like heat over it or like cool all the temperature or whatever. There's quite a few ways you can do it. In Photoshop, there's something called a photo filter, which is pretty nice. Because what a photo filter does is it gives you warming filters, cooling filters. You can add your red, orange, yellow, all the Roy G. Biv stuff, any sepia tones, your deep red. You can do all that. You can do this, and then, so if we want to do like warming filter 184, and then up the density, see how it's introducing the color into your other colors? It's not overriding anything, but it's making it more harmonious, I guess. Same thing here, so it's a different type. Instead of full yellow, it's more of the, or this one's actually more yellow, the other one was more of a kind of a gold. You can do that, but you can also do a cooling filter, and look at that. That's crazy, right? You add that cool tone to it, it just really makes it weird. The reason why it doesn't look great as a cooled thing is because we started with a warm thing. So what it really does is it neutralizes everything and you lose a lot of your contrast and stuff. But you can do a lot. See, that's cool. That's actually really neat. I like the cyan hit. Kind of a cool way to do that. But let's say you don't have Photoshop, right? Let's say you don't have Photoshop. You don't know how you would do a photo filter like that. Pick a color you like. So let's do that cyan. Let's do like a cyan. Let's say I like this color. How would this look? Fill in a layer up above the layer you're working on. Boom. Hit this on either overlay. You're going to see it. It's almost like a gel, you know. You can also do a soft light, but it really blows out some stuff. Actually, not bad. But you see what I mean? Look at how much of a drastic change that makes. And it was like 2 clicks. You know what I mean? So you can do this. And then, of course, you can really see how this looks. If you do like a hue saturation lock, then you can make it whatever temperature you want. Kind of see what happens. See what I mean? Super handy. Super handy stuff. But yeah, see, I actually still like this better, I think. You can do that. You can do this. But I like the overall, like, very warm. I like that. I need to embrace more of like real hardcore color temperature stuff instead of doing this thing to where I'm like, well, I know I have a lot of warms, but let me add a whole bunch of cools too. Like, that doesn't automatically make for a better painting. And I need to tell myself that. That's actually, it's funny, Stroll, that you say that, because that's how movies do day for night. They film in the day and then they realize, oh crap, the scene needs to be at night. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lower the the exposure on the, like, in post, and then we're also going to give it a cooler filter, a gel over it. That's how they do it. So we have this, right? Cool. Yeah, kind of back where we started. But anyway, and say I did like a little bit of it, but I wanted this to be more, I'm going to merge that down. And then I wanted this to not be as hardcore. Maybe I did want a few of the cyans, but I wanted them somewhere else. I'm going to, or just I wanted to sprinkle them in. I am going to make a mask, fill the mask with black so it hides everything. And then I can get my airbrush on white, or even like 50%, because black is hidden, white is shown, but you have your whole value scale basically working as an opacity. So if I wanted the highest opacity for it ever, like even if I did full pressure on my brush, I would keep this at 50% gray. And then that's the highest intensity I could get, right? So if I come over here, and see, I can add a little bit of that coolness down here, because it's going to kick that stuff into the background a little. But keep the warms up front. That's on my Frankenstein and Shogun. Yeah, so maybe in the next few weeks, maybe sometime in November. I'm looking at the calendar right now. We could do it in November for sure. Show that a little bit, and then I can even lower this even more to really make it subtle. There we go. There's that one. Okay. Get rid of that. We can merge this down. Cool. Now we're just on a painting layer. All right. Let's paint. So So I'm trying to figure out if this should be an outfit that he's wearing. See, I haven't designed anything. Design is by far my worst thing. I'm not good at it. I don't do it well. So if you guys want to learn my secret to straight lines, which I don't ever really do, but I need to do, watch this. I'm going to get rid of all of this by just color matching and sort of my whole gauntlet method of getting rid of stuff. Just sort of painting over it and not trying to be too selective about it. Just make it disappear, right? But I know that I need to have more of like a straight line thing going on there. So what we're gonna do, let me get rid of any semblance that we had a line there at all. So now I'm going to have my color that I want it, have this brush size that I want. So let me bring this down to like 9. I'm going to grab the pen tool, go from here to there, right? That's what we want. That's right? Okay. I'm going to stroke path using my brush tool. So it's whatever color and whatever brush, hit OK. Boom. Straight line. Razor sharp too. Super handy whenever you need to make like the side of a building or something like super straight. And if we didn't want it to be like that razor sharp, you can always come in after the fact with your brush tool. And see how like that is a razor blade, man. You can always come in, do a little bit of this. Makes it look a little more sketchy. It's a little less perfectly even. See, you can sort of get away with that, right? So we do that. There we go. Need to do that up here. Actually, this was not bad. I should probably do the trick though. And it's funny, I'm looking now, like how rendered do I want this? If this is going to be a portfolio piece for something like Magic the Gathering, how rendered does it need to be? Because I also don't want to render in a style that I don't normally do just to try to get a job for Magic. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're going to hire me, I want them to hire me for what I do, not what I think they might want to see. That's been one of my big growth points over the past year or so. Which probably keeps me from making the big bucks, but it's that old Star Trek Next Generation quote about like, I'd rather us be damned for what we are, type of thing. It's a great show, by the way. Great show. Yeah, Rod, that's absolutely right, man. Fool people just enough. That's it, man. That's what our job is. It's just optical illusions. We are in the business of optics. Literally. We need stuff to look like stuff, and that's it. Easier said than done, but... And that's the thing, because I don't design, this is usually the part where things start going a little bit haywire. So I should really focus some time and design some stuff. Which is going to be the part about making a graphic novel or like a comic or whatever. That's going to whoop my butt. Because I'm going to have to do so much work before I even start working. I'm going to have to design what all the characters look like, and, you know, the backstory stuff's kind of done, but I'll need to, like, find a way to have the characters always look like the characters no matter what, based on, like, silhouette and all that stuff. Very design heavy. Which is not my strong suit. See, it's funny, this is about the level that my Warhammer stuff was. But it's funny, because the Warhammer stuff was like 3 years ago, somewhere about 2.5 years ago. So it took me so much time to get to that point, as far as like each painting. I've only been working on this painting for about 5.5 hours, not very long. This probably would have taken me, God, 25 or 30 back then. What I need to do, I need to cinch up this belt is what needs to happen. Boom. Boom. Let me cut that one off. Boom. So I think the old saying is, every year you shave off an hour, right? So something, or no, every year you half your time. Because I was thinking, oh, if something took me 2 hours, now it takes me 1 hour. That's not shave off an hour, that's halving the time. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. If, you know, I've been working on this for a little over 5 hours, yeah, this probably would have taken me about 15-ish, you know. So that, yeah, that checks out. And then it's funny, next year, I will be able to do stuff like this in like 2 hours, which is great. That needs to come over. Yeah, see, that thumb is all kinds of janked up right now. That's what I get for lasso tooling and like selecting stuff and moving it. You get all these weird looking things. How's that thumb going? Thumb needs to go like that. Kinda. Yeah. It also needs to be lit the same. This needs to come up over. This is what I get for not looking at any references for hands. I should know better. I should know better. That's part of the fun. Working from imagination is like going without a net. Yeah, no. I would here's the thing. Whenever you're just starting off or whenever you're like building a portfolio or whatever, spend as much time as humanly possible on each piece. And the reason why I say that, you need the experience of getting through the muck. You don't need the experience of finishing a painting. It sounds weird, like sometimes you do. You need some successes, you need some wins as it is. But really what you need is you need to be very aware of every step of the process. Like painfully aware of every step of the process. Because you're going to be in every step of the process a lot. If you want this to be a career, you better become best friends with the quote-unquote ugly phase of a painting. You better become best friends with sketching, or like, I don't do it a lot, but that doesn't mean I don't do it. Like, I say I'm bad at it, and I am bad at it, but I still spend at least 5 to 6 hours a week just sketching stuff. Even stuff that doesn't make the internet is bad. I don't like it, but it helped. Like, even if it's stick figures doing poses, how do you think I came up with this guy? This isn't even a great pose, but like, I'm kind of proud of it because all the stick figure practice I've been doing has been paying off. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said here, I wasn't looking at ref for the hands, but I need to know what it's like to paint crappy hands for a while. Like, I know I can paint a good hand if I look at it, because I can paint anything well if I can look at it. That's just I've been trained. I'm a trained monkey. I know how to do it. So what about not seeing a reference? What then? I'm not quite trained to do that yet. I'm training myself, but it takes longer. If I was just doing a photo reference of this, I'd be done. We'd be on like 2 paintings from now. You know what I mean? Like, we'd be so far done because I know if it looks right or not. I've done probably at this point thousands of studies. And each one of those, whenever I first started, a photo study would have taken me 15 hours. Now a photo study takes me about 35 minutes because I know where to put shapes and I know where to put values and I know what I need to get out of it, and then I get it out of it and I'm done. Like, everything is there for a reason. But you better be so comfortable with every part of a painting, because you're going to be in those parts a lot for every painting. You can't skip a step. People try to. If you ever try to photo bash and you don't know perspective, or you don't know what to look for with the lighting, you're not going to have a very good looking painting, because everything you get is going to be shot with a different camera at a different focal point at a different time of day with a different lens with a different aperture setting. And you're going to be like, why doesn't my photo bashing look like, these pros that do it for like Star Wars and stuff? It's because the photo bashers for Star Wars, either they took all their same pictures and they used all of them, you know what I mean? And they have their own same camera and they know those. And they're also professional photographers, so they know how to do it. But also, they have done no less than 5,000 matte paintings. They know exactly what to look for, exactly how to fix perspective, exactly how to get what they need out of every part of it. You got to put in the time. There's no shortcuts. There's none. I'm sorry. There's just not. if you want to get to the level that you want to be at, you're working pro, you're making your art, you're doing your thing, you're working from imagination, you know how to do all that, you know every pose in the world, you just gotta fail way more than you succeed. And that just means you gotta do it. You just gotta get in there and make some real bad, crappy paintings. Like, people talk about the 10,000 hour rule. You need 10,000 bad paintings is what you need. If each one of those took you an hour, guess what? You just got your chops. Congratulations. You know, I'm probably on hour like 6,000. I still have quite a ways to go, but I'm past the halfway point. I can tell you I'm past the halfway point pretty confidently, you know. Like, I'm at the point now to where comfortably, if you give me an image, or if you give me the idea of an image, I can probably make something that would look pretty good. You know what I mean? But that's because I've made God knows how many paintings. And I've been in the trenches, and like, you just gotta do it. You gotta do it over and over. And you have to kind of be insane, is what I'm saying. You have to be a little bit of a madman, or a madwoman, a mad person, just to, you know, you need to be an entity. Like, just, your fuel is doing this and getting stuff wrong and figuring it out and like lucking on it. I will say a lot of my like successes and like successful art pieces happened completely by accident until I realized what I did and how I did that thing. And now I add it to my repertoire. You know what I mean? So that's like values. I'm still not a master at values, but I can fix values in a painting, guaranteed. Like, if I need to make something lighter or darker or make it make more sense or tangible or whatever, it's going to happen, just because that's what I focused years and years of my study on. So like, I can go work in any type of visual medium where they need a correction on like, well, this is too light, this is too dark, how do we fix it? Oh, you do this. Like, that's comfort food for me now. You know what I mean? But it took a long time to get there. I'm still not perfect at it, but I'm confident enough that I can work with really anyone in the world and make it happen. Less energetic it always seems to get. No, I definitely have that problem. I think everyone does. I really think the reason why, and it's funny, we talked about this a few weeks ago, but the whole like, why does my sketch look better than my painting? I think it's because we have more opportunities to see what it could be during a sketch. We're not locked in. We're not making the big decisions yet. It's very, I don't know. It's very much, if you keep things more loose, even if you're rendering, because if you notice right now, I'm not going in super zoomed in to render. I'm just kind of coming in, I'm doing a little silhouette work, I'm doing a little soft edge, hard edge, kind of blending in some colors here, kind of getting rid of some stuff. I'm trying to keep things still kind of impressionistic. That is sort of my style. I like the more painterly, weird edges and stuff. I like that. It's just my preferred look. But the benefit about that is I'm also not bogged down in like pixel perfect details. I just don't care. I do not care. I don't care how well the eyebrow is rendered. I don't care. That is not interesting to me. Like, at all. Not to say that it doesn't take skill to be like photorealistic. It really does. It takes a skill set I do not have. Not only do I not have the skill set, I don't have the patience to learn it. So like, big ups to people out there who can do it. I am definitely not one of them. But it's because I want my stuff to have a little bit of energy. I want it to be fake. I want my stuff to be fake. I have no interest in having my stuff appear realistic. Like, that's not what happens in my mind, so I'm not going to have it happen on my canvas. This is what it is. And like we talked about, that's going to cost me a lot of jobs. It probably already has, and it probably still will continue to. But, you know, it is what it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in some of these highlights all around this curve, just so our eye can follow along. You know what I mean? And then kind of up that contrast a little bit. Make it a little bit more appealing. This is really a thing I learned recently from goooooo. Just really looking at his stuff. I've noticed, even if his stuff isn't rendered, which it all is, but even if it's an area that's not rendered, he still puts little specks of something there to like reward the viewer for looking. We've talked about the you know, at the end of the rainbow, there's the pot of gold. You have to make it worth it for the person to go on the journey, the visual journey. It's the same thing. Yeah, exactly. And that's the cool thing about this whole business of art is like, it takes all types. It really does. And the world is a better place for it. Because, yeah, having the different styles to be able to study and look at, and like, it's just super cool. Super fun. I'm trying this out. I don't know if this is going to work. So everyone is probably familiar with the term atmospheric perspective. It's the idea that the further you get away from something, the lighter the value goes. Take it easy, Brent. Thanks for hanging out, bud, and listening to me ramble. But you can add atmospheric perspective to stuff that isn't even all that far in the background, just to like push it back a little bit. So like that arm back here, I just added that perspective there. I'm gonna grab it and also add it here. Basically anything that is on the same plane as that is going to have that sort of atmospheric perspective to it. So like, we'll come here, do that. That's darker, which is good. I want that to be darker here. Yeah, I need to like fix this. There's a lot of stuff happening here that's not very good. First off, that needs to be more anatomically correct. Bicep here. Let me darken this. Get rid of these. Alright. I swear these flies are killing me right now. They are giving me no quarter. Great job so far. Thanks so much, Dave. Dude, that's the biggest honor. Yeah, I'm such a Randy Vargas mark, dude. The only true story, and it came in like a week ago. The only art print from a magic artist that I've ever bought is from Randy Vargas, and it's his skeletal archer that he did back in like 2019 core set, maybe. And it's funny. Well, now it's really funny because I'm making I'm making an archer painting with Randy Vargas brushes. I still think pound for pound, Skeletal Archer is probably my favorite Magic card ever. Either that or Nightmare. I need to see who did the Nightmare painting. Let me find that Skeletal Archer painting so I can show you guys what we're kind of looking at here. Let me move my Archer reference. It is so dope. And I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect painting. I think I talked about it on the YouTube channel, actually. Magic the Gathering artist, Randy Vargas. Where you at, bud? There you go. Boop. And talk about another guy who really nails the color theory of like staying within not a monochromatic color range, but like he understands how to use and utilize these colors. Did they pull it from the gallery? No. It has to be here. I'm on MTG Art. It's one of my favorite places to go to look up specific cards and artists and stuff. Did they take it? What? Here, I'm gonna find it anyway. I don't need no other website. I know what I'm looking for. There it is. There it is. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy. Let's do this. Let's look at this. Look at this. Tell me that's not a freaking painting right there, dude. Oh. Randy Vargas is so good. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I got an art print of this. I still need to hang it up. I'm waiting to go to the store to pick out some frames. But it's ridiculous. Look at that, man. But really, look at what he does. He does a lot of nice kind of softer charcoal and like chalk stuff. Did some different blending modes on some of these branches right here. But you can see it's not super rendered. The thing is, it's not crazy rendered, but it doesn't have to be. But it's perfect. Like it is this is a perfect painting. I could go on a 4-hour tirade about what works on this painting. And the thing is, I don't think there's anything that does not work. I think every decision he made was a master stroke. It's genius. This is a genius painting. It's one of the reasons I wanted to like get into this. So yeah, we're still a ways away from that level of understanding. We are a ways away. But only way to get there is to get there, right? We gotta do it. Because yeah, I need to like figure out. Actually, this is kind of a neat idea. What if this was like one arm was in almost, think of it like Under Armour or something, like very skin tight, not leather necessarily, but just some sort of material. And then like this is where he actually has come on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to get some more that Randy Vargas knowledge, man. I bought all of his stuff on his Gumroad, like his Procreate brushes and his tutorials and his, like anything he makes, I'm there day one. No question. You know. So the real secret is the real mamma jamma. I think that's going to be the thing that pushes this to final. Is what the hell are the designs on this armor right here? I have no idea. No clue. See, we can come in here. We can put dots in here. I'm going to carve up this silhouette a little bit more. Make it a little sharper. Because the inside of the silhouette, you can do whatever you want, really. It's not super like make or break on the inside of the silhouette. But if the silhouette reads pretty sharp, then we're good to go. And see, you can see I'm just kind of correcting the edge a little bit here by color picking what's outside of it. I could probably lasso tool and do this a little easier. But like I said, I prefer the slightly imperfect look of some of this stuff. I think it actually makes it look more painterly whenever there's less of that stuff. Yeah, that's how you know Randy's good. He's just giving everything away. He's like, yeah, man, whatever you want. And then he's so, dude, super smart too. Like, seeing how he works is amazing. Because he is one of those guys that he went through the trenches too. He did so many years of studies and all this other stuff. And then my understanding is he kind of got fed up with doing studies, which is sort of where I'm at now. Is like, all right, I think I've studied enough. Like, I need to start making my thing. And then, man, and he's one of the best in the world. Pound for pound, he's still my favorite magic artist. You know what I mean? I've told him that too. I sent him direct messages. I was like, just to tell you, brother, you're maybe the main reason I wanted to get into the fantasy art thing as my third career. Let's see, I'm doing the thing to where, do I fix the face or do I keep it just a bunch of shapes? Because this would be down here. Yeah, there we go. Actually, let me straighten that ear out there. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm digging that. That's better. It's a subtle little shift. We're at that point now to where these tiny little single brushstroke things are changing a lot of the angles that we have. That's probably for the best. because it means that the design's on point. We just needed a little bit of something to get us there. I'm going to get rid of that one. It's a little too much. I think this one's really gonna take off whenever we add the canvas textures and stuff. That will be the last step of this process. Let's see how well I learned from Ryan Pancoast. Because he was talking about, I have all of his acrylic painting or oil painting tutorials. He was talking about ways to make armor detail without worrying about what the hell the armor detail looks like. And it's basically just adding highlights and shadows and letting the audience fill in the rest. Which I think is kind of that's a big brain move right there. You know what I mean? It's a genius move. So we're going to try that. See where it gets us. Because if this works, then hell yeah. My art's about to get a lot more detailed. Because I won't even have to do anything. You know what I mean? I'll just sketch out like random shapes and stuff. And we'll see how it works. There's that. That needs to come down there. And these are sharp brushes. I'm going to get a charcoal brush or like a chalk brush here in a minute. And then we're going to come in and actually like specular highlights, specular. That angle's not correct on that, so I'm going to make this bigger. There we go. Then bring in a little bit of brightness. Let's see if I remember my cheat sheet on how to do this correctly. See, and something I can also do, I could probably go and find some armor, like some royalty-free pictures of armor, and just sort of like texture map, essentially, you know, like overlay layer and do all that. But I think this is cool too. May not look as good, but at least I can say I drew everything like a real artist. See, something I have learned is that if you do a design or a look or a a thing on one side, do it on the other side. For God's sakes, do it on both sides. Oh yes, Discord. Yeah, come hang out, guys. Let me type that up real quick. It should be an invite. Please come hang out. We chill, we have a blast, we share art. We share works in progress, we do all sorts of fun stuff. We'd love to have you there. Sorry, I'm kind of in my full focus mode right now. 2 o'clock already, damn. Need to get to bed here in a little bit. I do, man. I fanboy out, I fangirl out really over Randy Vargas stuff. Dude is just a genius. If you want to talk about somebody that can render the hell out of some armor, there's a guy named Randy Vargas that can do that real well. What was that card he did for the D&D set? Oh my god. It's a term that means mercenary. Sellsword. Jaded Sellsword, I think it is. Freaking unbelievable. It's like a lizard mercenary, and I believe it's a she, and I think she is sitting in a tavern it's just unbelievable. And like looking at it, I remember the first time I saw it, I laughed out loud. I was like, dude, save some for the rest of us. Like, what are you doing? He's just too good. He's too good at art. Like, he's just too good at it. He's not allowed to be that good. Now I'm gonna go find that picture so you guys can see it and drool over it like I did. And actually, this might have a thing to help us with our current armor. God, this piece is so good, dude. Ridiculous. Get out of here. Shut up. Shut up. Look at that. Oh. Yeah, I wish. You know what I mean? Freaking perfect. Let me check something real quick. Interesting. That's what I need to do. Literally right now, I think. Let me check. Is that the same? Oh, yeah. Well, this one for sure. So, it's ambient occlusion. He goes dark for his ambient occlusion. Even if the stuff right around it is like maybe a darker mid-tone, excuse me, but not even necessarily. Like even with the highlight right there. God, but he just tempers it so well. Let's see, you get this. Great flat shape. And then, okay, 10 to 1 if all of his ambient occlusion is the same color. This is going to test everybody's theory now. You have to think. You have these bricks, you have this, you have that warm light coming in, you have this. Ambient occlusion, even if the material is number one, a different material, and number two, if it's a different local color. Will the ambient occlusion be the same color? The answer is not necessarily. Interesting. Okay. I see you. I mean, they're close. They're very close. It's very purple. Very dark purple. I say that because ambient occlusion, usually whenever the chroma of your color is dark, that goes towards purple because purple is the darkest color on the color wheel. So once again, purple. More of a red, so a little warmer. Purple. So he does shift he shifts the temperature a little bit. But these are all very purple. All right. I see you, bro. Good work. What that means I have to do is our favorite move, fill black color. Select all, copy merged. Oh. Edit paste. So now we have a black and white copy. Boom. Turn this to color overlay. Now we work in value again for like the 5th time. Yeah, he correct. He never goes 100% black. Never, ever, ever. And plus, it's actually smart because since he knows his work is being printed, he really never goes black. You know. So, where are we at here? We're at an 11. Let's kick that to a 7. Yeah, let's kick that here. Then let's hit us up some ambient occlusion. Actually, the face is actually getting a lot of light, even if it's bounced. So, really it's going to be places like this. So I will say it's a small victory. I'm actually very happy with my hand that I painted without reference. Big round of applause for, 5 years in my career finally doing the thing that I probably should have been doing even before I went pro. And that is painting pieces of anatomy from imagination. That up right there. Kind of like a nice little cuff. That can be good. Like I said, I'm going to stay away from rim light here. Stay away from some rim light. But that doesn't mean I have to stay away from some insane highlights. So it's not rim light. But it is some detail. See, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it kind of doesn't have to. That's another thing I'm trying to embrace. Doesn't have to make perfect sense. There we go. Bring that in, that in, that in. This is just to make the silhouette a little more interesting. Because I've noticed that something else I need to work on is the actual shape of my silhouettes. Let's see. There's some wraps there. Oh, that's actually true. What if this was a shirt? Like the whole thing was kind of an Under Armour shirt rather than a vest of like bronze or whatever. Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely need some bounce light. Trying to figure out how should the armor. This may not be necessarily correct, but and see, really the goal is here to not break my value structure. Right. Still make it look believable. Still make it look somewhat correct. Because also if the armor that was actually the wrong one. Here we go. Here we go. So yeah, now the armor is starting to come alive a little bit because we're starting to add some of these highlights to it. Okay. And then yeah, so like this is where you're going to get your soft brown brush. And then here, hit there. Fix that a little bit. Come in and add the bigger kind of wild brushes, brush strokes at least. Okay. Tangent, I just found. Okay. Fix that. Fix that. Fix that. Add a little bit of random paint detail to these fingers. The old fingies. Where's his knuckle? There it is. There it is. Let me lighten this the same way. See, the weird thing is, if you do too intense of like highlight and low light and stuff on the fingers, they just look like sausages. because the way because the way they catch light and stuff. So you don't want them sausage fingers, bro. It's a bad circulation, you know. And that. So you can see a lot of my like quote unquote detail. One isn't really even detail, but two, I'm doing it in the value layer. I'm not worried about it in the color. Now we will have to come in and kind of correct this here in a little bit, but so far I actually think we're okay. All right, there we go. So we're getting there. It's looking better, you know. If we add that back in, yeah. All right. Some of that ambient occlusion working pretty good. Another thing we can do let's go ahead and add a little bit of that orange to some of this stuff right here. Right. Got that. Got that. Yeah, this is reading okay. Yeah, I think that's at a decent spot for tonight. I'm not quite sure what else I want to do. I think I do want to add some more detail to the armor here. I still need to sharpen up some of the silhouette, I think. But like, we're at a decent spot, you know, especially if we do our nice trick to where, let me save that. Let me come up here. Let me open something here. Where's it at? Here it is. My canvas collection. Let's add something like this. Hit on overlay, boom. And then also we will hit this on overlay as well. I'll flip it that way. Oh, that's fine. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. Cool. And then overlay. Whoop. And this one. Lower the opacity down. This one, lower the opacity down. Cool. So what I just added were some paint strokes, as well as a canvas texture. So if I put this one up, as that, but this is the one where you get some nice painterly look right here. Headless Rodeo, what's up? Practicing. That's the best time to practice. You know what I mean? It's the best time to make some good work. So yeah, we can see a little bit of paint stroke stuff here. Some like right here. Just adds a little bit of variety to what we're looking at. You know? Nothing too outrageous. But then like if, let's say one of these textures is a little much, we can just come in and boom, soft round. We'll get rid of some of these because they don't match the movement that we're doing. But what I can really do, if I really want to cheat the system, I can come in and do some thick brushes on the armor stuff later. I can also just follow the curve of this with a multiply brush. But see, stuff like this, I'm actually going to keep. It looks a little messy, but that's kind of the point. This whole background area is kind of messy. So you can get away with it. This is the type of area you can get away with your brush strokes not matching what you're actually looking at, because it's all just chaos anyway. Let's say I like that brush stroke, but I don't want it to go here. I'll just mask it out right here and see how it's kind of like going behind. Yeah, I'll do that. You know, and I have like 20 or 30 of these that I can add to it and then actually go and brush it. So, and I will be selling this. It's a big collection of these canvases on my website soon, probably in the next week or so. I need to finalize it, but it is very helpful because it gets you some nice canvas stuff going on that you can use and start to really kind of like solidify your paintings. But anyway, that is my time for tonight. That is it. That's what we're with right now. We had our other painting that we didn't really get to, but that's fine. This one's going to be more of kind of a weird slapdash thing anyway. And to be fair, it's way more boring than this one is. This one's just cooler. It's a cooler painting. So that's what we get. But let me kick it back over here. Let me move my mic. We'll kick it back to webcam real quick. Boom. So that's it, man. That is tonight's stream. We are going to go live again on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. I forgot what day it was. I thought it was Wednesday right now. It is not. It is Saturday right now. Or actually, it's Sunday. We're very far into the morning right now. But, whoa, big face. Whoa. See you work your magic. Take care. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's just a lot of fun. It's nice to be able to do some personal art. I've been working on one painting for a long time for a client, but it's going to be good. I've learned a whole lot from it. And then there's another client that I'm probably going to be able to show the work December, maybe. That'll be nice. Because it's one that's kind of near and dear to the heart. It's a project that I'm real happy to be a part of. And yeah, I hope it makes the cut. There's some cutthroat other artists doing the same thing, and there's limited spots in this project. So I'm hoping I'm up to the task. I'm hoping my stuff is up to snuff. But if not, we can use it as fuel to get better and to curse our enemies. I don't know. No, here's the thing. There's so much room for everybody in the art space. I don't think of it like competition stuff. I know a lot of artists do. They're like, well, they got this job, so now I can't get the job. It's like, kind of, but that's not really how it works. So many places are hiring for so much stuff. There is room for everybody. I always say just, so yes, yeah, that's the one, Rick. But that's the one thing I tell people. Chase skills and not jobs. You're going to be far happier. Because guess what? Once your skills get better, the jobs don't let up. You get contacted a lot about a lot of things. But yeah, just chase the skills. That's what we're doing here. Just trying to work from imagination. Make something that might look cool. I don't know. Like, it's a different wheelhouse than working from reference, which is what I normally do. I normally work with a ton of reference. But on these few, I'm kind of working by the seat of my pants and seeing what happens, because I need to get more comfortable, like, not knowing how it's going to turn out, or like what it's even going to be at a certain point. There's a lot of power and being kind of in the neck deep water. I'm kind of like, oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to, and trying to like figure that out. Because if you build that skill set, if you build the skill set to where like, I'm sketching and this looks terrible, can I save it? Then whenever you're at a place in a piece that you might be kind of okay with, like you feel comfortable with it, you're doing okay with it, you still have that skill set to take it up a notch, to like quote unquote save it. Like even if it's pretty good, you've been in the part to where like it hasn't been good, but you know you can work through it. And that kind of goes back on that advice for Greg and others. Just be very familiar with, I'm not going to say comfortable with, but be very familiar with every step of the process. Be familiar with thumbnailing if you like to do that, sketching if you like to do that, shape carving, big, notan, black versus white, and set up your shadows and your highlights. However you work, get comfortable doing that first, then go in, start carving away at it, start making it happen. My big secret lately, and I am going to make a video about this, is sketch last. If you want good detail, we kind of did it here on the stream. You notice I was doing a lot of big painting and big shapes and stuff. But then what I'm doing now is I'm picking a color, picking a pretty solid hard round brush, or maybe something with a little bit of texture but not much. And then I'm sketching. And then I can kind of form that and add light to it and some shadows, ambient occlusion, whatever. But then that sketching is adding detail that we can then go in and paint, to sketch on top of, to paint, to sketch on top of. And then you keep doing this, and that gives you that sense of there's a lot of depth to an image. Even if the image is flat, even if it's 2D, even if it's a 1-point perspective, even, whatever it is. You're going to get a lot of cool harmonies and things if you're working on details on top of big shapes, and then use those details to make new big shapes, and like just keep almost like massaging it, and cool things happen. So that's my time for tonight. I think we've been live for about almost 3 hours, maybe a little over 3 hours, but it's a lot of fun. We're going to do some more personal painting on Wednesday. We might finish this one up. I don't know. We'll kind of see where my head's at, but we'll see you guys next time. Thanks once again for the support. Go check out the website if you haven't already, wesgardner.art. Free brush pack up there. Some more assets are going to be up there. All of my online courses, like my full-on tutorials. I have one tutorial for card art that I made for Varia, the card game. It's a 14-hour long tutorial. I do every single step of it. We talk to art directors, we get feedback, all of it. It's all there. I think it's like $10. And it has my advice for freelancing, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, if you want to check that one out, that's a full course meal. And I got some other ones, a little bit more snappy, 2-3 hours here, hour and a half here. So if you're more into that, there's stuff like that too. So yeah, go check it out, wesgardner.art. Until we see each other again, which will be very soon, go out there, make cool art, and have fun. We'll talk to you later. Bye.